together for how long?
About 3.5 years.
3.5 years. And we've been working on your business plan. One of the things that we talk about is how important your sphere of influence is to you. Because geofarming is something that you kind of do, but you're working really hard in 2017 to make that a solid. But your SOI is where all your business generates from. So in a mastermind group that we were working on with the business planning, and by the way, how many of you have been on my business planning group? Okay, fantastic. Some of you still owe me business plans, just FYI. And we are going to have one more session, and it's going to be one solid 3-hour session. I'm going to try to put in there as much of what we did in 3 weeks as I can in that 3 hours. But when is that? Do you know?
It's next week, next Thursday.
Next Thursday. So how do you sign up for that?
Just tell me.
Oh, just tell Jackie you want to go. And we'll arrange this room if we've got a very big room or if we can't get our own training room. But when we were doing that, we asked. We got on a topic of, what's your big 3? And the one that you guys do so well is your SOI. So talk to us a little bit about who your sphere of influence is and kind of what you do for it at this point, and I'll walk you through what you told us already.
Well, I think I have to go back to the beginning, which is a painful, I don't know about the beginning, but a painful step I had to do. For years, I had tons of clients, literally in boxes on paper files, emails, gosh, all over the place, in different file categories, different databases that were partially complete.
Post-it notes.
Oh, post-it notes. I mean, it literally took me a long time, So I've been in the business 20 years this year in August, and I had to go through some serious hurt. Okay, so to get the database that I wanted, because I always wanted a great database, and one of my poorest strengths was, or my weaknesses was really marketing. I'm a real estate agent that doesn't like to talk about himself, that doesn't market himself, not a good thing. So I realized if I'm going to capture more business, I need to get an efficient database. So I finally put the metal to the road, if you will, pedal the metal, however, and I had to go through each one by one, and get all the data. I even went through emails. I extrapolated tons of emails that I've ever sent, people that I wanted to send, went through. Oh, and then I had to categorize them all, right? So I had to go categorize them from friends to past clients to real estate agents to third-party vendors that I might know that might refer me business, other business-to-business partners. It took a long time to get proper addresses, and I would search them. What's their current address? Oh, that email doesn't work anymore. What's their new email? It took a long time. So I'm telling you, what I went through, it took some time, but I was completely kind of backwards for a while. I only had partial here, partial there. So once I got all that together, then with all the tools that we have here at CPE, along with just some great stick-to-itness and on schedule, it's finally coming back in. So I lost a lot of business, unfortunately. I mean, really, if I look at what I should have been doing to what I'm doing today, it's a lot of business lost. So
How many of you feel him?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, it hurts, guys. It hurts.
Yeah.
So you got to feel that pain a little bit when you realize how long and how many people aren't calling you because you don't have the right info. You're not talking to them.
So where did you put all your data? Where did you find the most effective CRM is?
Well,
What are you using then?
Yeah, so we're using a program called Daylight. Max is very proficient at it, and I've had to become very proficient at it. It's called Daylight, yeah. Let's put it this way, anything that you use is going to be good. It's the one you use. It doesn't really matter.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one. It doesn't really matter. Just pick one and get all the information into it. Email addresses, database, birthdays, names of kids, property addresses, previous addresses, investment properties, whatever they have going on, your previous, whatever. Just get it all dialed in with detailed notes, so when you call or when you call them, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. And you don't need any of this stuff anymore. It's all on your laptop, all on your phone, it's right there. Piece of cake. Now you can call somebody super fast and you have all their notes, easy. It took a while, but now I feel like if somebody calls me, I know exactly what's happening. And I want to call somebody, it's like, oh yeah, boom, type it in. Oh yeah, there it is. Got it all right there on my phone. I can make a quick phone call. And follow-up, so I'm really good at follow-up. That's what I like to do. I like to follow up and call people as much as I can and chase it down. But I had to have the right info. I didn't have the info right. So yeah. That's the painful step, part one, okay? Get it all in there so you can actually use it. And then you start using it. And that's where we come in with all the drip marketing campaigns. We set certain people up on mailers. Our special pass clients, they'll get specific mailers and postcards, invites to client events, And then of course, when I actually have a really good message to tell, I didn't have a format to do it. Now I actually have a way to do it. I can actually blast, hey, I got this hot property, and we'll get calls on it, because now I've got thousands of people there that are listening to me again, right? I didn't have that audience before, now I do.
So Max, talk a little bit about the system. I know you guys use InTouch as part of what you do. So talk about what you do with email and mail, and how often you're talking to people and all that.
Okay. So we've got, we use Daylight and for managing our CRM and our tasks and managing escrows and things. And it also progressing people through the purchase funnel. And then in combination with that, we use InTouch. So we're kind of bouncing between two CRMs, which is, it's not quite as efficient as it could be, but it's okay. So everybody that we have in our database is in InTouch. So everybody's either labeled as a buyer, a seller, a beller, or a vendor, or an agent, or just a repeat referral. So our repeat referral people are probably, it's our biggest list. So depending on which category they are in that, in InTouch CRM, they're in InTouch, we assign them a campaign, which makes it super easy. If you do InTouch Pro, you just set them up, you can actually pick which campaign's gonna hit them next, and it's just kind of set it and forget it, you don't have to think about it. So they're getting something from them, depending on which campaign you choose, probably about once a month. Then on top of that, we layer with different messages that we like to send out, which we use through the other database called Daylight. So we've got a schedule where we'll call it a 4-week month. 1 week they're gonna get our e-newsletter, which everybody in the database gets. Another week they're gonna get a list of our listings. So here's a list of all the listings that we currently have, so you can see that we're doing business. And then another one would be either a hot buys. We just actually comb the MLS, find some really great deals out there, send that out to all the people in there. Or Debbie and Adam and I kind of came up with another one where we're gonna have a hot buyer list where we have, like we do buyers' needs. We're gonna put our buyers' needs out there to our database, and hey, we have this great buyer, they're all cash in Costa Mesa, up to this, have you heard of anyone who's looking to sell, or are you possibly looking? And oh, by the way, if you wanna get on the hot buyer list, if you're looking for a property, let us know, and we can get this out to our thousands of customers. So that's all scheduled. So every week we open up our laptops and something will pop up on Monday saying, okay, here's what you have to do. This week's the e-newsletters. We gotta put that together and send it out. Next week it'll be, the listings. And then on top of that, because you can't really schedule this, anytime we get a new listing, we let everybody know that, send that out to the database. Or sometimes if we have a price reduction, send that out as well. So I guess they're getting hit maybe 3 or 4 times a month with an email. Then we do have addresses, physical addresses for about 600-700 of those folks. So every 60 days we send them a direct mail piece that we use. Typically one of the templates in either InTouch or the other one is, what's the one vendor we have? One of the 3 print vendors.
What are you using to send out your email, MailChimp, or?
It's actually called direct mail, and it just has a tie-in with our CRM Daylight, so I can get statistics on, percentage open, where they were, and then it also, if they unsubscribe, it unsubscribes them in my database, so I don't accidentally put them in something else.
Can you repeat the email?
Direct mail?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk a little bit about the events and how you handle events with people and what kind of response you get out of that. And also I want you to talk a little bit about the tracking of your opens and how many of these hundreds of people are actually opening, and how are you finding who's percolating to the top?
So if we have an event like the Illumination Foundation, that was such a great message to get out there, so obviously everyone got blasted with that. But then we also use our CRM tool to not only tell us, when to send out emails and e-newsletters, but we also have it to let us know, hey, it's time to make a phone call with these people. So I had kind of let the phone calls accumulate a little bit until we got a little closer to Illumination Foundation, and then just was able to pick up the phone, hey, did you get the invitation for this? It's a really great event. It went over so well. It was just so nice to have a conversation that wasn't talking about you have anybody that's looking to buy or sell? And they really, yeah, the conversations just flowed really well. But, you know, unless you have a system where you can get that information out and then have a reminder to call them, it's kind of hard to put those two pieces together.
Adam, how often do you call on these people?
Ideally, every week, but, you know, I'm not, you know, just like everybody else.
Can't call
sometimes-
all of them every
Yeah, I
week.
can't call everybody every week. So I do try to touch, the best, my past clients really, and my really friends, it's really what it is, friends and social. Once a month would be ideal, I mean, because they're already getting hit, right? So, yeah, once a month.
And, so, questions, what kind of questions do you guys have?